Today, this is as close as Tarkington can get to the people he loves the most.
You don't know what you'll see until you look.
Watching for any sign of them from an empty field half a mile away.
I've been through hell because I know where my kids are. I have custody of them. And I cannot get the Sheriff Department, the Texas Rangers, the FBI can't even help me go get my children.
These are Tarkington's boys in happier times. Sammy and his younger brother, J.D., now 3 and 4 years old.
Would you give me Mama kisses?
Life was good for the family, says Keith, until his wife's father, John Joe Gray, convinced her to leave him. They divorced. A court later awarded custody of the boys to Keith. But he can't get to them, he says, because his ex-wife and his children are inside Joe Gray's armed compound.
These bunch of radicals are standing outside their gate with guns on, saying, if we can't have these children, no one can.
The courts have ruled that they should be with their father, Keith.
Well, that's what we hear, but we also hear that in Texas, unless she has the papers served on her, then that she has broken no law.
They say they brought the papers and they put them on the fence.
She wasn't even around here at that time. She was living in a different place. So she never seen those papers.
He wouldn't allow us to videotape Tarkington's sons on the compound. But privately, Gray admitted that the boys are in there, and he says they're fine.
So why not return the children to the father?
Why not give the chicken to the fox?
He accuses Tarkington of being an abusive father.
Oh, he's lying. He'll tell you anything he can, just get what he wants.
Have you ever abused these kids in any way?
No. I mean, yeah, I'd spank them, but I have never left a mark on my children.
Hurts?
Yes, because he's raising my children. He knows as long as he got them, the laws won't come in there and get him.
But if anyone tries to go in and get him, Joe Gray says this could turn into another Waco.
We can't go crashing through doors and gates and stuff like that.
The sheriff of Henderson County, Texas, Howard Slick Alfred, admits that because there are children inside the compound, he's playing a waiting game.
I, for one, am not going to endanger the lives that'd be involved. It may be different if it was a more serious crime.
It may not be that serious to the sheriff, but try telling that to the boy's father.
Yeah, well, his children ain't in there. He says, well, it ain't my problem, so let's just drag our feet.
Do you understand the frustration from the father of these kids?
Sure, I can understand his frustration. And I sympathize with his frustration. But
he hasn't seen them in a year and a half.
Why would we want to take the chance on him not being able to see those children alive?
Back inside the compound, Joe Gray and his family can hold out for a long time. They say they've stockpiled nearly 2 years' worth of food thanks to a few neighbors who are sympathetic. And they're not the only ones supporting the Grays.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Finally, yes.
You bet.
On our visit to the compound, we met Alex Jones, a radio talk show host from Austin.
I just don't want to see a bloodbath here because they're committed. They're going to defend their property. This family's been harassed, and he has a right to live his life as a free human being and defend his property and his family.
And then there's Michael Trice, a preacher from Louisiana who traveled hundreds of miles to help defend the Grays from what he calls another Waco.
When things get so bad that a minister has to strap on a weapon to come out and protect good Christian family from tyranny within the government, it's getting pretty bad.
But how bad is it, really? The sheriff says rumors of an assault are ridiculous, that the Grays are blowing things out of proportion.
A farce, just a farce.
A farce.
There's never been a siege going on at the Gray property.
Please come over here and get all the date numbers and things and the VIN numbers on this piece of Big Brother.
But what about this? A surveillance camera mounted on a trailer belonging to the sheriff's department.
Well, this is a war, though, you understand? So
It was found near the Grays' property just a few weeks ago.
What's that right there? Covert operations.
You gotta be kidding.
The Grays say the sheriff was spying on them in preparation for an assault.
Transmitter and battery.
They are gonna move in here.
We got it all out.
What was this trailer doing there with the surveillance equipment?
We were just checking movements and stuff like that, and seeing what was going on.
And what happened to that equipment?
It's my understanding they destroyed it.
Yeah, I think cows got into it, you know.
Despite the bit of spying, the sheriff says the Grays' fears are just paranoia.
Plans to assault Joe Gray's compound. I still say time is our best ally.
But for Keith Tarkington, whose young sons remain inside the compound, time is the enemy.
I never stopped thinking of them, praying for them. I mean, the crying is over. Now I just want results. I want my children back.
With every passing day, he says, it gets more and more frustrating to have the law on your side and no one willing to enforce it.
I sit hours and hours right up here on this hill waiting and watching.
Out here on the ranch lands of East Texas, for now at least, the Grays are winning their little war against government and the law.
If they try to take the kids by force?
We'll protect those children as our own.
To the death?
To the death if need be. Yes, sir.
You're willing to die for this?
I'd really die for it. Because how else could you live? You know, freedom. What is freedom? You know, they can take my land, you know, okay. They can take my life, but they can't take my freedom.
And so the stalemate remains, although it now appears that informal negotiations are underway. The sheriff says John Joe Gray has asked how to go about getting a court-appointed attorney. We'll keep you posted. If you'd like to see more of Downtown's exclusive video inside Gray's compound, you can go to our website, 2020.abcnews.com.